My place of birth is Jamaica, Anova, the parish of Anova, and Montpellier district. That's my district where I was born.
And we're going to start off by you describing your life in Jamaica, growing up in Jamaica. What life was like? What memories you've got?
Well, I remember as a young lad, I went to infant school. When my parents was paying penny, they call it that day. And afterward, I went to the mother school. I reached the standard of 5th class. You got up to 6th book, but I reached 5th. I read up to 5th book. After leaving school, I went to learn trade and carpentry. And for a while afterward, I was working at a hotel. And I lived from there to England. I landed in England 1960, the 10th of May. I got a job the 11th, started work the 12th, and finished work the 1995 redundancy. That completed 36 years, 9 months. During my years in England, I went to night school. Learned to do car maintenance, television, radio, decorating and painting, public speaking, and little bits.
So you were always into education then, from a young age? You always enjoyed education?
Yeah.
What were the main subjects that you did in school?
Mostly finance. I was good at mental arithmetic, and at the moment I'm also involved in doing the church work. I'm the treasurer for the church for over 20 years now, and doing the bookkeeping, take all major activity. Now I'm also the treasurer for the center here. Doing the bookkeeping, etc. Work with the accountants, transport, do everything general.
And do you remember what your schooling was like back home? What were the schools like then?
School was good. My teacher was Miss Archer, and one was Miss Lawrence, and one was Teacher Shada, and one was Teacher Young, and one was Miss Miles, which was two sisters of them. One was postmistress and one was teacher. I have good days in school.
Good memories.
Yeah, good days. I remember some of the time when they give us a mental arithmetic, I would do it without a book. And they would say, "Oh, you finished already, fix Roy?" And I said, "Yeah." But upon that, I was tricky sometimes. I would tie the girls' band to the chair, and also their shoes laces to the, so when they get up, they do very, I fight sometimes. And I remember one day, Teacher Young, he put me across the desk. They usually have these long strap. They give me 6 of the best, and I never cry. I said, "You're not crying?" And they give me 6 more in the hand. And that. You got the days when it was very tricky. I was rude some of the time. Usually trouble with a knife. They got these, you can make your own knife, these long 20 penny nails, and heat them in the fire, beat them out and sharpen them. You got them. I was a gang leader. Yeah. Now that, but the time goes on when you met the Lord and then you change.
And when was that for you? when you became a Christian?
When I was 17,
You're still in Jamaica?
in Jamaica, yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was good to become a Christian, but then my friends, because I was very tricky, they tied me up and beat me and said, no, can I go in the church? And they give me certain days that I will come out back, but I proved them wrong.
And how long have you been in the church since?
A good while now. You're good at
I'm gonna
maths.
give
Good while now.
And what is your family life like in Jamaica?
My family will quite good. Quite good. My grandmother was a seamstress in the district, top seamstress. And she usually get most of the work in the district. She was really good. And also my auntie, she was studying for teacher in her early days. My uncle is a tinsmith, they call him in Jamaica.
And what's that?
It's like a tinsmith to make pans and that. That's a good trade, all kind of things. My cousin, family lived like on one family land, and one of my cousins was the manager for a hotel, and the sister was working there. He did have 2 shops. Sometimes I helped sell in the shop, and they always work at the hotel. There was 3 brothers of them. One do the cultivation. One was we call him a foreman on a property. My mother was doing domestic work, so I was well looked after. And nothing to grumble about. Must give God thanks, I've got a bit of good life there.
Do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes, I've got 4 sisters, 2 brothers. I'm the eldest of all. My father is a carpenter, really good carpenter, contractor, all that. And he died now. He was living in Stafford. Died 3 years now. Rest of my sister, they are in America. 2 of us as brothers here.
Right.
Yeah.
So another brother came over to England as well?
Yeah, one of my brothers is in England, the other one is in Canada, and the sister is in America.
So your memories of your family life, how would you describe that in a word?
Very good, very good.
And going on to
I wouldn't complain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you decided that you were going to come to England?
Yes, it was like all the friends going away, and I started to feel lonely. And I just decided, I said to my mother, well, I would like to go to England. And I said, well, it's all right. And I remember I said, okay, I got £40, so I'll give you the rest. It was £75 then to England. And that was it.
How did the rest of your family feel? Because you had a lot of family living nearby you. How did they feel about you going to England?
On the Christian part, they said, well, don't think you would remain in the church. But Jamaica is quite religious. I said, well, I think you're not going to stay in the church, etc. But then I prove everybody wrong. I'm still in the church. I'm able to obtain an exalter license in the church. That's the first rank of the ministry. But I like stay it's too much problem to deal with people. I work with them, but I've seen a lot.
So how did you travel to England?
And the ship. Nice.
It was nice.
Yeah, it's nice. 18 days in all. We land in France, and then took the ferry to New Haven, and then from New Haven we took train to Wolverhampton.
Did you travel with anyone that you knew at the time?
Yes, I knew a few people. One relative, Sam Grizzle. Yeah, and other people, we get to know each other on the boat.
What was the feeling like on the ship when you were travelling? Everybody?
It was Vicky the first 3 days. Claustrophobia, you feel that way, you never want to go down the deck. You feel like you're going to pass out. But then after 3 days, you never want to come off.
What was the atmosphere like with everybody? Because you were all going to a new place. What was
Yeah.
the feeling like?
Yeah. You just got feel that like Christopher Columbus. You just got feel like, my uncle was in England.
Right.
So that encouraged me a lot, He was in England. He came to England 1953, 54.
Okay.
And I was coming 1960. So therefore I said, so where are you going? Well, I said, I'm going to England, man. And that was it. It was nice. But when I came here, and when I reached the when I was on the train coming, I said, oh my God, what a lot of factory. And there's a bloke was on there, he traveled before, and he said, no, their houses, And
So the houses looked
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. And then when I came to the house, it was 150 Hilton Street. The people's name was Brian. They're still living there now. And I said, oh my God, is England this? I think if I did have my fear, I'd go back.
That was your first impressions when you came here?
Yeah. Just feel lonely, you miss all your friends.
What were the things that you noticed that were different when you first came? What did you notice the most?
Well, these houses, they were so close, and the weather was all right at that time.
It was May that you came?
Pardon?
It was May that you came?
Yeah, it was nice, really nice. But you just start miss your friends, and just look lonely. You don't see a lot of people as in Jamaica, and you don't hear the hen crowing, you don't hear the donkey braying, you don't hear anything. So you feel a bit lonely for the first. But, after a while, you soon settle down. And then the plane ride, I don't like plane. So I went on back twice.
Since you've been back twice? Has it changed a lot?
Yes, it changed a lot, yeah. It changed a lot. And there's a lot of changes out there, yeah. The people then doesn't seem to want to work as before. That annoys me. Because somebody should work for their living. You don't want to be a parasite, you want to work. You work, and that proves you're contributing to society, which we are to. Because if somebody has not contributed to society, then a lot of us wouldn't be able to enjoy the benefit now. And life goes on. It's a reproduction business in life. So I think everybody should play their part, work put in the society that somebody can get. Life goes on. I don't like a lazy person. I don't like a lazy. I've got some son. I've got 5 kids, 4 girls, 4 boys, 1 girl. I've got 9 grandkids, and they all seem doing well. I've got one is a good musician. When he was 7, I sent him to music lesson, and those days was hard. I could have, used the money.
Was this one of your children?
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, one went to it was Polytechnic then.
Yeah.
He's graphic designer and photographer by trade. The girl, she do her own business. She's really good. The last one went to university. He went 3 years. Then he came back. He went to Cardiff and do a year. Graduate. He's about going for his master now. He's having a break. Youth and community project and sign language, etc.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is good, working for himself.
So they're all
Yeah.
ambitious. Like,
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that's your work, and also my wife. The work, that's your work, because sometimes even when I'm sick, I go to work, I just don't like idle about, and I think that's your work. And I think it rub off on his shoulder. And I encourage him, encourage him, make yourself a man in life. And that's it. I think they took that out. My wife is a hard-working person too. Very, she has done a lot for this project, and when she done finish our work during the day, you come to the house, and and the floor and everywhere is another office. And she really works. She really works hard. I really admire her for that. And I said to the lad sometime, your mother, she's gifted. I said, have you ever seen she chair a meeting? I said, no. I said, boy, she's good. She's really good. She worked hard for this project. She, I think she's the one of them that started it in 1978. When I was at the church down at the church hall, and then we moved up to here. And very hard worker she is. And I remember we make some sacrifice for these kids. When we have the first lad, when he was around 3-4 months, like, we leave him with a carer. And one day when I have my lunchtime, I pop over and said, oh, how much are you getting on? I usually push him out in the pram, and fix him up that they could keep warm. And when I went there, the lad was in the pram same way. And that hurts me. And I went back another day and it was the same. And one day the wife came home and she went there and it was the same, and I said, you know what, call it a day. At the same time, she expected the second child. I said, you know what, you call it a day. Stop and look after my kids. We manage. And she stopped, and she has never been back to work until the last one was 16, out of school. We make a sacrifice to the family. At that time she was working in Warsaw. She was getting £18 plus per week. I was only earning £12.
So it was a big sacrifice.
It's a big sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. I mean, I tell people, and then they go on to a time when I usually go around and sell things, record, clothes, etc. And then I did have a store after, down the bottom of Elton Street. If you go there, you see a television place. They took it off me. And 5 years ago, yeah.
So you set up that, was it the same type of business they're selling electrical?
No, I was selling clothes.
Right.
Yeah. And then, but the family was young. And then it's like they started to grow apart, and I said, nah. Because like sometime when they come from school, we'd get somebody to take them and stay there with us until when I'm coming from work, then I would stop and the wife would go home. And so we give them the best shot. On holidays, I would get chicken, rice, drinks, and we take them to different parks and let them enjoy themselves. I think they know every seaside in England, because I usually have a trip every year. I take them.
Why was that important for you to do those things?
I don't know. I don't know why. I just did it. I just did it. I said what I never have, I was going to give them, and I'm glad I fulfilled that. I got the opportunity. I was being sent to school. I was well looked after. I was well looked after in Jamaica. I couldn't grumble. I remember when I was 7 years of age. I remember my parents was giving away clothes that I did have to other people. Yeah, clothes, shoes. I was well looked after. Now I'm grumbling about that. But you play about education sometime. You look back and say, oh, I could have done better. And looking back now and said, wow, usually the mental arithmetic without, pen, just that quick. And if I look back now, I could be a right accountant. I could really up there, but It's like during my daughter schooling, when we got our report, they said, "Oh, Mrs. Blake, Gina's got the opportunity and ability to do anything." But maybe she was dilly-dally as me.
Yeah.
And when she picked it up, I tell her she got some papers. It's brilliant. So it's one thing in life. You goes on in life and it doesn't settle down until you reach certain, it's like the airplane go up, and then when you reach 35,000 feet, you settle down.
Yeah.
And there's a time in life. I remember one of the time my grandmother said to me, "Roy, I think you're the worst one coming through the family. We'll have to tie our belly for you." And that meant you're really bad in Jamaica. That means you can go out, and the next thing you hear is a dead man. But I said, that change.
You started working pretty much as soon as you came over here.
Yes, straight away. First year, as I said, I landed the 10th. Got the job 11, started at the 12th. I never get a penny of social services, not even a penny from I've been here. And I've worked. And when I finished, when I done 36 years, 9 months, and I went to sign on, they said, "Oh, Mr. Blake, you're not entitled to anything. No, I haven't got a penny until now. I don't sign on now. I'll get nothing off them."
What was your job like, working in a new environment? What was that like?
In here, in England?
Yeah, when it was
Good, pretty good. I was working at the brewery. And I started to assemble the louds. Oh, it was a truck. You gotta push it. You gotta start this thing like 10 high and push the crate that was that big.
everything was manual, you used your hand.
Yeah, God, it was wicked. And anyway, I liked the place because it was near. I could stay over the house and then look at the clock. Oh, 1 minute to go. then go and see. But I usually enjoy when I want to go to work. As I said, it's always been me. And I usually assemble the load first. And I remember one lunchtime, I pick up things quick. Like one lunchtime, I was there and I went down the forklift truck and I reversed it. Woo, woo, woo. And when the foreman came, somebody told him, because I shouldn't do it. I said, "Roy, did you go on this truck?" I said, "Oh my God. Now I'm a Christian, I can't tell him lie. And if I tell him the truth, he might slap me." So I said, "Yes, Bill." I said, "Okay then, we're going to train you up." And they trained me up to drive the forklift truck until I enjoy every bit of it. So I was a forklift truck driver for all them years.
So you picked up skills easily?
Yes, I picked up things. I was charged on there for around 7 years. They made me charge on for around 7 years, yeah.
Was that something that was important, coming to a new environment, to adapt?
Yes, yeah, it was something new. Even without going to university, traveling is an education itself. It does. It's opened my eyes. It does, because if like you are at one place, you're like restricted. But then if you do what the rest does, since it's good, you learn. You read a lot. You watch television. You listen. I read everything. I watch everything. And it's help you, because you're able to help other people. And I remember many stages in life when I help people and instruct people and give counseling. They said, "Oh, you should be on the Samaritan to help people." I said, "Where you get these from?" I said, "I read everything, I listen to everything, I watch everything." And I said, I remember one professor, he was 22 years old. He usually go to the park, and they call him Peeping Tom. You know what's happening in the park? They call him Peeping Tom. He was 14, but he said never give up. And when 22 he became a professor. Then he said, "Well, if I did run away and never got more determination, how do I be a professor now?" I remember I was down the church one night. Me and the secretary, was doing some work, church work as usual. And the phone rang, and this man said, "Are you the minister?" I said, "No." He said, "Is this a church?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm going to commit suicide." And nobody stopped me. And that time I've been to, I was learning counseling. I go to, for around 4 years I've been to Birmingham, teach me how to do counseling to help people. And just within that time, that case arises. And I said to him, well, no, don't do it. I said, I'll meet you. He said, where about this place is? He was in Blackswitch, and now I was here. And I coaxed him and I said, okay, take the bus come. I'll wait for you at the church, just beside Chubb. And he came down, and I dropped everything, went out and meet him, take him back in the church. I sat down and talked to him. I said, what's happened? So my girlfriend or my wife, he was with me, and he's leaving me for another man, etc., etc. And he said, I'm going to come and see you. I said, he doesn't worth it. And I talked him out of it. And I talked to him, he said, thank you very much. He said, I said, come back next week and see me again. And he came back the next week. And he said, I don't want you to say anything, I just want you to sit down and listen. And that was part of the counseling I got when I was learning this, when he was teaching me. And he sat down and he emptied out everything and he said, thank you very much, and he went. And it brings back all my memories to what they are being taught. You go to pathology, and he said somebody died and you go to help them. You shouldn't risk your hand on a woman because of the bereavement. It leads somebody else, you see. So you've been through all these things. So that's another study I did, counseling. Public speaking was a right one, that because I just going blinded as anything. And the teacher was Mrs. Scott. She was teaching at Old Hall Street. And then I said, I went in, we signed on the time, I said, I would like to do public speaking. I said, okay, sign on. And then we went on. The hard part about it is when you come to impromptu speech. They just give you some heading, you got to put something to it, you stand up before the crowd, and you got to make up something on top. I think I got through when the examination come now in the room. I did it on the church, the history of the church, etc. I thought it was great. So I had, I think, 2 certificates of that, public speaking. And then tell about inflated speech. Somebody can come and, like into a congregation, you shouldn't start on a high pitch. You start on a level. We have the congregation start on a level. Then you can develop. Because I said, if it doesn't start on the right pitch, if you start on a high note, then after a while you can sink, you see. So you can put the people to sleep and all that. So, I've been through all that. I don't know that.
You've had a lot of education, you've learnt a lot.
Pardon?
You've done a lot of courses.
Yeah, I do different bits. Yeah.
How has that helped you through the years, coming up to now, from when you first came to England?
How did it help me?
Yeah, how has it helped you?
A lot. Because all those things that I did, I used it to help other people. I remember one day I was going to London, and I saw this bloke have a problem with his car. And he pulled up on the old shoulder, and I said, oh, I wonder if I can help him. And I pulled up behind him, it was a Mary Saxford. I said, what's happening? He said, well, my car not going all right. And he was going to leave the key, then get a lift to London, then let them pick it up. And I said, hold on a bit, lift up the bonnet, strip down the carburetor, put it back, valve in there, these valves stick sometimes, put it up back. And the bloke was driving past on me. But already I couldn't keep up with him after. I said, thank God I've done something. I've helped somebody. And I've always helped somebody. I've done a lot in England, the churches, Leeds, London, Cardiff, Worcester, Stafford, name it. I've been there. I've done a lot. But I don't regret it.
So when you look back at the things that you've done with your children, your family, what memories are in your mind, the hard things or the good memories that you've got? What's the things that stand out the most?
I've helped my kids and I've helped other people.
What's been the hardest times?
The hardest time in my life, I think the hardest time in my life is when I was living at a house. Nice people, I was happy there. And those times you got to rent a room. And I get to understand the people in one room, and they never tell me. I heard from outside. And that shattered me. And I started to look at a house, and then I got the house and there was nothing in the house, not even a bulb. And imagine me alone working 12 pounds per week, right? Those days, some part you got to use liner, you got your gas cooker, name it. So you just got to do everything. I also do some electrical work, I also do plumbing. I pick up all these things. And there was no 13 amp plug in the house, so I got to do it myself.
That was difficult.
Yeah, them days rough. Them days rough. That days rough. It was rough. It was rough. It was tough. As I said, I'll never forget the kindness of my wife. Not long after we married in 1962, and there was a few people married that year. She was from Warsaw. And this couple married. And little after the husband took sick. And the woman walked out and leave the man. And little after I took sick, I overworked myself. And I watched my wife ups and downs, and she take care of me. You know, and I'll never forget that. She took care of me. I said, my God, she could go on like the other woman. And because there wasn't a lot of money, she's a first-class seamstress. My wife do a lot. She got a lot of qualification. You don't know though. She does that quiet. You don't know what she have. And there was these things. This was hard, and she saw for the kids, all of them. So that saved me a lot. But yeah, it was hard, and yeah.
Can you tell us any of the experiences when you first came, having a young family?
Having a young
day-to-day experiences, what you experienced.
It's easy now these days. It's harder those days because you never have anybody to help you as a stranger. I mean, our parents was in Jamaica. Everybody was rushing to work in days. Now, if my grandkids, etc., if my son or daughter-in-law stuck, Daddy, can you look after the kids? So I would help, but then they got no time, so they have golden days. Golden days now. It was tough then, it was a difference. And then you learn now how to cope with the grandkids. You know the attention you should pay to the kids rather those days, because nobody help you to bring up a family. There's a lot of parents now will turn back and regret the way they treat their kids sometimes. They won't say it, but it is true. Now you notice a young family, they're not, because you got the grandmother and you got the grandfather, and the grandkids, they are like gold mine to the grandmother and father now. They are like real gold mine. They are real gold mine to them. Proud of them.
So where did you get your help from, apart from you and your wife? Where did you get your help from in the community?
Well, we did have some good people in the church, and two families especially, I'll always respect them, and they did have children who would help us when the kids come from school. They would help and take them to the home, and they would stay with them, or if we're going out, they would stop with them for us and so on. Really respect those family in that sense.
Were you quite close in the church?
Yeah. I always work hard in the church, so people respect me for that. As I say, I don't believe in, I must be really well sick before I stop. always out. It's like now I'm doing voluntary work here, and I'm out like, I think I'm working harder than if I was going to my normal work. You know, I really work hard. And I can't stay in the house anyway. You're so fed up. I got up the same time or before when I was going to work, listening to the radio. And you just want to get out. I still do my housework. I'll vacuum the place, I wash the dishes up, I mop out this, I do my gardening, I look at the car. See that my wife car wash every week, clean it out, ready for Monday morning. Don't leave anything undone. Still take care of them. Still take care of them. Proud of that. Really proud of my family. Yeah. Really, I'm proud of them. Yeah.
And the children.
Yeah, I'm do. That's my goal, mine. That I'm really proud. Really proud.
What have you brought from Jamaica that you want to pass on to your children?
There's so much. England maybe have more wealth. Another country. But number one in life, you should have respect for people. And good manners. Should always respect the elderly, everybody. And people think, well, you could shout or take disadvantage of little kids, or tell them forget about it, because they remember. You know? And I remember my grandmother used to say to me, Roy, if you have manners, you can go through the world without a penny. I said, this lady talking nonsense, what she mean? And not until I travel on in life I realize what it is. The answer is, if you've got manners and respect for people, and you feel ill by the wayside, somebody will say, well, it's Roy that, oh, I got to give a helping hand. But then, if you don't have respect and abuse people, etc., and oh, is that boy got no manners? Then leave you. So, respect, yeah. They got that. And I'm glad for that, the kids have that. I'm proud of that. Everybody said, oh, your kids are lovely, they are lovely kids. And I say, yeah, they got that. Good behaving. Thank God none of them in trouble on that. So, you know, it proved itself.
And what do you think, has England changed since you've been here?
England. Yes, England changed. The people change. The youth they don't like days are gone. They got no respect for the elderly. They'll rob the elderly. And I think that's odd because those people that walk in with a stick or two or in a wheelchair, they work very hard and they should enjoy the labor. And we should help them rather robbing what they have. And I hate that. I hate that. You look at the elderly people and just swearing to them and push them down and the government got to be blamed for that. Because there's time when they would, I mean, it's your kids, you ain't going to murder them. But there's time when kids do things which they should get a spanking. And the government come and said, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. So therefore the kids grow up on their own. They make their own decision about things. That's not helping society, and that's the backfire of it now. Now they want to turn the clock back, but it's too late.
So where do you think it's gone wrong? What's the main thing that they've gone wrong with the children, with young people? Because
they got their one rule, they ain't getting no spankings and do anything. They will lay the bag off. Then go in the bank, them hijack them, study everything. They know they're not going to get a whipping or some punishment. So they keep doing it and they please themselves. I mean, they do terrible things, the police go and talk and laugh with them, they're gone. Society breakdown, not enough police, and they they don't respect the police. I mean, you could look at the police, then somebody protecting you, then take a knife or a gun and pushing them. So much wrong in society. If the government allow the parents to bring up the child. The Bible says, why spare the rod and spoil the child? The government allow the society to bring up the children in the right way. Then it would no overspilt, robbing the postmasters, killing the police, robbing the train. You're scared, ain't it? Some people scared to go a certain place. It should be a free society where everybody live happily. You work hard, you should enjoy it until you die. We know nobody live forever. So it's grievous because there are sometimes you see incident and you can't help because they wipe your neck off. So it's burn you. And it is a part of the government fault. I should give her guidelines. I should give her guideline where you should protect your children and you're able to grow them up.
It wasn't like that when you first came?
No, it wasn't like that. You'd maybe last money or drop this and then once it's there, you would get it back. No, I remember when I was working in Jamaica and I was working with this doctor lady. And she leave a whole batch of envelopes somewhere stuck in her car. Now I remember I was moving the car and I found it and I took it to her. I couldn't believe it. And I was leaving there, I said, oh Roy, in time you come back, there's a job here for you, it's alright. My boss man, the manager for the hotel was Scottish, Maxwell Mayer. The landlady there was from England, Nancy. And I forgot the other one now. One was Nancy and someone like that. And not long ago, I went in the phone box out there. And I found a wallet, cards, money was, I forgot how much, £100 was in it, just out there. And I looked it up and I phoned this bloke. He was living in Paddington, down the bottom. I phoned him and said, can you call at 42 Park Road West? I've got something for you. And no, I think I did it same place out here. I did it same place out here. And I waited for him. I said, oh my God, I can't believe this. I said, yeah, out there. He was giving something. I said, nah, it's all right. Got back everything. It is said honesty is the best of policy. You're better off. You ever heard about the poor bloke was in Jamaica and Kingston? It was that poor that he couldn't go to school. But then he went out one day on the street and he found, whoa, a wallet loaded, money. And he went to, the people was going back because they was on their way to America. And he went there and he saw his lady crying. He said, what's happened to your mom? He said, I've lost my wallet and everything. And the lad said, is it this? And she said, yes. And he gave it to her and I heard that she looked after that lad. She went back and she sent him to school and maybe end up in America though. So honesty above all things. When you're honest, you don't have to look over your shoulder. Trustworthy. When you're being trusted, keep it up. It's important.
As someone that's come from Jamaica, how do you think that black people, ethnic minority people, are fitted in England now, as it is now?
I don't know, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say in some area or the other because when the English came to Jamaica, they are highly respected. And then when they came to England, it's like you're not being wanted. So let you think. Like in the early days when the people come and go in church and don't come back. And it's like this things break down where you can go here, there and everywhere. And then school is such a when I came here, you got talented people which came here, but because of the different education background, they were being not given the full marks. Like in Jamaica, we say pipe. In England, it's tap. so you know, they wasn't getting the right marks. So I think we've come to a long way. You'll never erase racism. There's things you'll never break down. You'll have the genuine Englishman, you'll have the genuine black man, you'll have the racist Englishman, you'll have the racist man. In every society, it's there. We pretend the time, but it's there. You know. I don't know that things from. I know it come from. I know there's a root for it. But, it's different now because the English married the black married the English. First time it was cultured mix, you know. I mean, my first lad married an English girl. It's brilliant, happy. I'm proud of her. She come around anytime. I'm proud of her. I'm happy. So that's where it goes.
Have you got anything that you'd want to add? Any hopes that you've got for your children or for yourself from now?
Well, I've got long to live. Life is like that, and then it's done again. Nobody live forever. But how my family keep the same principle as what they are doing now. Help society, a good name never die. There was a black man into a village where many white people live. And I reckon he always dressed nicely every day, neatly dressed, always suit that. It happened that he died and some more went in. And I was able to make reference of Mr. Jones, so he always dressed. You get it? So obviously these other people came in, they changed. We read a few books in the Caribbean and read about Master Willie, which was a pig. And he always dressed into a nice black trousers and a nice white shirt and his felt hat and his cane. But as soon as Master Willie go up the top and he see a pool of water, he's in it. Yeah.
What did that story mean?
What that story mean? Well, there's not a lot of people change. There's a lot of people change. So what I'm saying, whatever you have on your color, your good behavior, your good character, you should maintain it. That's why I draw the reference to that man in that he was neatly dressed so people admire him. People admire you. When you think people not taking note of you, they admire you. And it's good in society. I wish he could come back. Not now go read them on the radio. Oh, you should have manners and give leave way to the people on the bus. You should say good morning and all this and that. Some of it is too light. The government got a lot to be blind. I'm saying that. I say it all the time. Nobody should ever attempt to kill a police. God, that's your bucket thief. Just for a few pence. Why rob a person? Why rob a person? You rob a person, you get a few £1,000. How long are you going to last? What are you going to get out of it? What benefit? You can only eat and wear in this life. The most thing you enjoy in life is you eat, you wear, and if you have a car, what else? You got a house. The Englishman said the house is a castle in it. So a Scottish. So I was talking to a Scottish man, was my manager in Jamaica. He was a nice man, Mr. Mears. Lovely man he was. Maxwell I. Mayer. I think my wife descendants from Scotland. She's Scottish. Nice man, Mr. Mears. So I think I was saying something good about him. He was the manager of a trial hotel, Hanover.
So that's a clause that you'd want to, your hope is that we become more honest.
Yes, it's good, it's necessary. I mean, look this centre now. Look this centre. These people done a lot. Mr. Gowd is, 90 somewhat. He done a lot. There's a lot. They all don't contribute to society. It would be unfair if somebody come and start mug them. It's not right, innit? You know, so yeah, I'm glad my kids, they got a lot what I maintain that. There's a time when grandkids and kids, everybody in the house. Oh, nice that. That bring back to the days when the 5 kids usually, you know, always, you know, have them. My daughter will never forget this one day. The mom took her to work and I hug her and kiss her. And she always remember that. Oh, mommy took me to work and daddy hugged me and kissed her. She phoned me nearly every day. She's in London, but she phoned me nearly every day.
Family is important.
Yeah, she really keep in touch. She phoned him at work. She phoned me last night. I was busy, I was doing some book work. So I phoned him back today. I said, okay. She was up here last week. Ah, nice, I'm happy. I'm glad for the mom.
Good.
She's from St. Anne's, I'm from Hanover.
Alright, I think we've covered everything unless there's anything you want to add.
No, we just hope for the best, especially in Wolverhampton. It's a nice place to live, lovely place. We just hope for the best and that people will get more involved in everything that we can make Wolverhampton a better place. Not only Wolverhampton alone, but the country. But you speak for where you are.
Yeah.
You know, maybe when we do the good things, Wolverhampton, the good tidings spread, so other town and city will accept it and patronize us. I'm happy in Wolverhampton. I love Wolverhampton. I get on alright with the people. I don't know if I might do some more studies. I don't know. I think I got enough on my plate.
Okay, thank you very much for your
Yeah,
time. Thanks for
yeah.
interviewing.